Welcome to our future humans to a late IHP show, and that's with the 5D mystic. So remember, Christ consciousness, he taught us all about how to love and forgive, and that's a lot of different paths people come from, but all the words that you saw in the title. So benevolence, loving kindness, friendliness, amity, goodwill, and active interest in others, although I couldn't fit the active. Those are all part of the word amity, which I believe comes from Buddhism, but also those are all the words for a person who has an integrated brain. So a person who's securely attached, non-traumatized, because they use their emotional, mental planes. So you're an intelligent, developing spiritual personal growth person. You know how to use your left and right, which is why you also know, like the hawthorn tree, the balance between all that is duality. So neutrality and duality, it's not full of contradictions. It's only full of contradictions for those who don't know how to be integrated in their brain. And they say things like this: I just want to be a world with about feels right, it is right. And it's like, well, you have feels all over that, and it's not right. We know the world's still working to get there. Love the male energy and the female energy. And so we are balance of yin and yang. That's what Hawthorne, perfect depiction of it. So when you're living out Dharma, you will know all about, even if you don't know who Maitri is, you'll still be aware of the life. So this is future Buddha. Maitreya is the next Buddha who will appear in the world to teach the Dharma and bring spiritual enlightenment to humanity. And his name derives from Sanskrit, and it means friendliness. And so different interpretations, but he is a being of compassion and love, and he also will be preaching the Dharma when the current teachings have decayed. And a lot of current teachings have decayed, but we know of those who are stingy and want to allow themselves to think they can own the word God or source or Akash in our stories. So when you meet those who don't know how to use the prefrontal, you know you have met someone who doesn't know about how, yes, Earth is definitely protected, and that's because we're all here, angels, we walk amongst each other, and we choose love. And so Dharma means that you are living your prefrontal cortex with your equanimous ventral vagal state. And that's what I've noticed. A lot of people, they don't know how to live because they get like mean girls. They continue to call people demons, demonic possession, that you have entity attached to you. The mystic spiritual community who says stuff like, I'm a shaman, come to me, I'll save you 20 years of therapy. No, hi, I'm a tarot reader, come to me, I'll tell you all about your future. Okay. Or the ones who say, I need to save you from some evil. Again, so that's where there's not evil, there's lower frequency, and those are all people that could use help, including the ones who talk about them with these words, because that's not really nice, as Jesus taught us to forgive, turn the other cheek, but above all, because these people can use that open-ended inquiry, the no-go when their implicit memory senses come up. But if they don't contain sensations, that is why, as Peter Levine pointed out, they won't, and I'm going to add Maria's words, they won't know Resh, so they don't know the light and darkness balance, and that's because they don't know their secondary human consciousness. So they're not going to be luminous warriors who know what the future holds, a body that is connected for everyone, our stories from our ancestors, and the new ones that we're all creating. I have the Smurfs and Gargamel and more, and that we all love ourselves first. And that's because we actually go, and if somebody's out in the desert, when God sends us there, it's a figure of speech, we already know, don't worry, we'll help, we'll create the bridge, and we'll continue to believe in you. We might change words, but that doesn't change how we know who God is. So his tone is discerning, equanimous, and loving. I've shared that in the many episodes, but also I wrote a nice chapter on a little bit of Maria's story with God, and it's really awesome. So enlightened ones, we know that timber of truth, and that timber of truth is for spirituality, subject matter people, and sciences, and it's called authentic, transparent, intelligent, mentally and emotionally speaking minds. So they physically harness all emotions because we have fun. And when our child parts come up, it's not trauma time because trauma is the charge, but we can process it, which is why we're the non-traumatized brain. So people who don't process trauma, that's when they're projecting and they use their stories. So they're not stronger than their dysfunctional patterns. They're also not noticing how addictions have consequences, but they feel good, and addictions to thinking there's a superhero and a supervillain group. Yeah, that makes anybody who has self-righteous and is passing on the baton of their trauma from their childhood to the next generation, and ancient stories that are decayed, because there's no Lucifer inside the body of anyone. There's DID, dissociative identity disorder. There's narcissism personality disorder, and one day they'll change it from disorder to, I think, something different, because those bodies did what they could to keep those people who have those bodies safe from their homes. And a lot more. And the ones who think it's a lack of imagination for evil don't know there's a Michael Stone forensic criminologist scale for evil. As he points out, should we really be using philosophical religious textbooks when we have science? So the ones who think that by not taking their children to the hospitals that they're more believers than those of us who learn information, they have forgotten that we're biology, number one, and that the stories are stories because our ancestors didn't know how to explain things. That today epilepsy is not seen as the wrath of gods. It's seen as epilepsy. So when someone doesn't like how science explains something, because that's the part of why people who use a left alone don't notice themselves. Then they don't notice that, like adaptive child part, they just flip a switch. So they have bad decentralizing of the self. One day they're great with yoga, the next day they were spreading rumors about it, bringing to demons out of you because they got trauma charges that came up and didn't bother to take themselves to someone like a Peter Levine. So people who ignore that the highest level of spirituality as well as of humanity is you being your real self in love and in life are the same ones who ignore what it takes to do the work. And the work means to get out of hell from your own body, not figure of speech, meaning, no, from inside it's really painful. So we root for all our brothers and sisters of love, and for those of fear too. We don't want anybody to be left behind, but if they choose to not commit to that which is Christ consciousness for some of us, so they don't want to commit to integrating their brain, getting their sense of self online, collaborating with all the ants, clearing the clutter, making thoughts and emotions fun as we juggle. And so knowing you're never alone, because, well, that's the part of where when we have resources, first we're our own resources, then some of us, we have God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, Buddha, Jesus, Maitreya. We got Archangel Michael is still here wanting me to share some more about him. So if you didn't tune into today's episode, he's really awesome. So are a bunch of more. And if you're curious about how that works, the channeling, downloading, I'll tell you in a minute. So remember also our Pleiadians. These lovely groups are said to be human-like beings with the fact that they honor the feminine and they live in an advanced way that we on earth already, some of us know exactly what we want to bring forth. So, we need air, water, food. We want children to have good therapists, especially the ones who right now will need them at some point. And then we know that cracked foundations can be fixed because they're not really broken. They're just cracked because the heart can break. And no, it's a figure of speech, but basically bonding. The heart gets sad when we don't bond. And then it gets afraid and it can get mad. Then you can get all of those. And a healthy way means you're an integrated brain. An unhealthy way means you think, you are right and everybody else is wrong. And then you think that you are only going to be benevolent and kind to the people you like and not to we don't play with the ones we don't like, but we don't be mean to them either. So, I deserve to be salute. You all know the story, so I'm not going to tell it to you all again because it's a story that if you're new, you don't know the story, I'm sorry, but basically a stranger who was drunk and they just decided to let me know that they were upset that I don't want to be their friend because I don't salute them. And then I had to salute them. So I was nice to them that evening because I wasn't going to be rude to them. Then when I saw them the next time, they were with a friend of mine and I acknowledged them, like, oh, she looked at me. So they got it off their chest, which made me happy, made them happy, and they continue to be a person who has a wife and a daughter, and we don't know who they are. Just letting you know. So this is what happens when you have unhealthy self-worth people walking the streets. Pinocchio continued to hit rock bottom, then thinking that by getting back up, he rose from the ashes. And it's like, no, Pinocchio, you didn't. So, by the way, all of our stories, Pinocchio, Peter Pan, there's the healthy version of them because we have our adolescent essence. But it's in the expanded part, not when they're falling for buffoons. Like, that's not, because we don't fall for Balthasar, whatever the name is of the Pinocchio puppet master, and then the wolf and the other guy. I mean, you do when you're a kid, maybe, but you learn to, as a person who's self-led, you learn pretty quickly. Okay, I was stupid, but I learned, so you know the truth. And this is where lovely Archangel Michael, the Prince of Heaven, his name means he who is like God, and he is considered Source's right-hand man. He is the Archangel who has chosen to guide and protect all. They say light workers, but every person's a light worker. So anyone who is called to make a difference, who is feeling called to make a difference on the planet, and that's a lot of people. But are they also ensuring that you turn the other cheek and learn to be compassionate, kind, benevolent, and all the words, again, of a person who's securely attached, and remembering that we don't walk in anybody's shoes, so we're going to spread light and love. As for that lightning, it's always going to be with the words of wisdom to diffuse conflict and provide clarity. As also prophets speak forth mind and heart of God, and gurus dispel darkness, and expert yogis know all about darkness. It's human secondary consciousness. We're not like, oh my God, I'm so impressed. Again, we have the power of Resh, because you're using that which is here, and then you continue to know how to harness, again, the loving kindness of your heart. And that's because even if I cry, I can go cry with someone. Get mad, I can get mad, and share that, the function of child adults. So active interest in others, that's the true life of spirituality. It's a life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self, which is really beautiful. I can tell you all about how amazing it is to be able to, let me find my cards. First, enlightenment is not about light. It is about a vision beyond light and darkness. Thank you, said Guru. And as he shares, being human means having the ability to transcend the so-called laws of nature and make something happen that is larger than us. Again, definitely true. And we all can love each other and be inclusive. Inclusiveness is a more intelligent way to exist, because that is how the whole existence is functioning. But you need to want to be there. And you need to know that the greatest gift you can give to another human being is to accept, respect, and love them just the way they are. And when you meet adaptive child part people, we work to allow ourselves to remember they didn't choose their trauma. Now, they can choose to get, healed with a good therapist, but some don't want it. And so you learn how to reiterate your healthy boundaries, which always works, by the way. I have plenty of people that I've reiterated my boundaries, and we are still friends. My facade friend, who I didn't speak to for 5 years. So when we pray, my facade friend got an answer to a prayer he had and another friend of mine, and they don't believe in God. Well, one doesn't believe in God, my facade friend. The other one does, and she's like, but she's a mystic. I'm like, she's an angel like all of us, and the people who are keeping it all divided, that's what I have to say. You prayed, you got your answer, you got proof. She got proof. That's why she was like, okay, wow, that's really... I said, yes, I know, remember, they misrepresent us. They completely just have decided to make it into one group is better, the other group is not, and that energy is theirs and God is theirs. And so we get to give a bridge to the people who want to take that bridge. And the ones who don't, it's okay, we still hug each other, because we're going to love unconditionally, because there's a law to protect us physically. So we're going to know that we're choice points. And also for the ones who are Christ consciousness, we forgive. So humility is one of the most known energies, humility with compassion, and Peter Levine hones in, and Bessel van der Kolk and a bunch more. You don't talk sense to people. Like the guy who looks in my face and is like, I don't need anything. Wow, everything explained. I'm great. You need to listen to the story if you want to know more. It's like, I just was like talking to them. Then I came to tell you the story, and I was like, okay, you need to hear this. To the community here, it's like, you have to, this is hilarious. So I won't tell it. You can tune into the episode. It was a couple days ago. So and I might restate it at a certain other point, but not right now. Right now, thanks for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you back again soon. Have a good one.